And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. This is about my fifth attempt to record this. I've been having, it's a story of my life, technical difficulties since I got back with audio delays. The echo, not too sure I can do much about the echo though. That does seem to be something to do with this room, I think. Now I'm sort of realizing, so something I'm going to have to work on later on. Listen, just a quick one this morning. Obviously back in New Zealand, you can see a little bit of sunshine streaming in behind me there through the window. It is 7 a.m. I've been wrestling with the computer since 6 a.m. trying to do this video. I just want to get this out because I want to chill, relax, enjoy this international break and put FPL away for a while. What do we talk about? I'm going to talk about obviously the game week 12 team, what I've done in the past and what I'm going to do going forward. So first things first, as you can see from this little graph above me, last 3 or 4 game weeks I have not been very focused, have I? A little bit of recovery in game week 11, but that was more of a lucky recovery, I think. Getting a green arrow with 45 points, so I think that was more by luck than design. But yeah, last few weeks before I left Ireland, obviously with planning the trip back, having a delayed trip, and etc. etc. Yeah, did some very daft things. I mean, I'm prone to doing the odd daft thing. Anyways, it does remind me a little bit of last season though, where I was sort of all over the place for the last 10 or 15, and then I got for the first 10 or 15, then I got really focused, particularly from game week 20. I obeyed my spreadsheet rules and I climbed the ranks, even coming through chip season without any chips. I was just like steady, chipping away each week with a nice little rank rise. Need to kick into that earlier this season. I mean, that last one I did was an absolute doozy, wasn't it? Really messed things up and messed my plans up that I almost set in concrete. That drowsy waking up in the hotel room and thinking I'll bring in Bowen for a bit of fun to pass the time on the journey. I meant to transfer out Voltamide and ended up transferring out Mateta by accident and bringing in Bowen. Anyway, what have I done? I've done one last daft thing. I don't think it's a daft thing. I just needed to correct and put the team out that I think I would have been almost 99% certain this is where I would have gone. I know I played with the idea of Voltamide out for a Croupy Junior or something that ilk to give a big chunk of cash to do other things in the team. But the other thing that I was playing with, and really I should have done it in 11, that would have been a game changer, honestly, would have improved things, was bringing in Thiago, who I really like, for Voltamide, and keeping the squad depth and that ability to change between 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 5-4-1, whatever I want to do, that whatever injuries, rotations, etc. get hit with, that I've got a really good squad and I can manipulate myself across the fixtures and any challenges that arise, say be they suspensions, rotations, you name it, the usual stuff that comes at us unexpectedly. So I have taken a -4. I promise. Last hit I'm going to take until game week 20. I won't promise I won't take other hits across the season. You never know what will arise, but I certainly do want to try and minimise them. From game week 20 last year, I think I only took maybe about 2 or 3. But up to game week 15, I think this squad looks really good. We get the 5 transfers in 16, so we can do whatever we need to do then, like a mini wildcard. But what I found interesting with this is I actually, once I'd actually done the transfers and updated my spreadsheet, I had to put it into FPL Hub, as you can see there. The -4, by the way, because I put it in manually. I've actually got 0.8 million in the bank. This is obviously working off quite old values or something like that I had. So I still got 0.8 million in the bank. Squad looks good. What I always find interesting when I do sometimes go to FPL Hub, and I'm not a believer in AI. I think most of you know that. In fact, I'm very anti-AI, and I tell you what, AI would not be telling, if I was using AI to do my team, AI certainly wouldn't be telling me to do some of the things I've been doing, particularly in the last few weeks. Artificial intelligence, more like official unintelligence. But the projections that FPL Hub does give me quite often very much in line with my own projections in my crude dynamic algorithm that I use for my spreadsheet. showing almost exactly the same sort of prediction for the game week. I haven't got them on this screen here, but going forward for the next 4 or 5, it actually looks pretty solid as well, and that's reflected again, I think, in the spreadsheet as well. And it's sort of generally saying, yeah, you should be hitting around that sort of 68, 69, 67 points over the next 4 or 5 game weeks. So that's good. It gives a little bit of validation to where I think this is actually a good squad. I think the fixtures are generally good, and as I said, if I sort of just run through the numbers very quickly. Which, bear with me, yeah, we just run through the numbers just quickly. Currently I'm on 660 points. That's only about 40 points, outside the top 100k, and that at this stage of this season, we're less than a third of the way through the season, isn't a lot really in the grand scheme of things. That's the wrong one. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and also as you'll see in the bottom there, the top number 1 in the world is now down to an average of 74, 75 points. That's happened a lot more quickly than it did last year. It wasn't until about game week 16, 17, I think we saw number 1 in the world average sort of level into that sort of 74, 75. As I've often said, the winner will end up on an average of about 74 to 75 points. So the main one for me, I don't think I'm ever going to get to number 1 in the world, certainly not this year, that's for sure. But 100k doesn't feel too far out of reach if I can just do sensible things, and not these daft things that I have been doing, and getting that back up and more consistent, which I did, as I said last year. I did do that from about game week 20. Let's do it earlier this year. Let's stop doing the daft things. I'm back. I'm in New Zealand. The sun is shining. Get focused. So the team as a whole doesn't look bad, and if you sort of look in the spreadsheet there, I'm not going to go through it in too much detail. Doesn't look too bad. I guess the big questions for me probably would be Senesi, Bournemouth, well, Senesi and Semenyo, to be honest with you. They're just fallen away a little bit, haven't they? They're just fallen away a little bit. Won't be transferring any of them out in the short term. I'll say it's semi-planned transfer might be to bring in a Liverpool asset in 12 or 13. On my original plan, that would have been, and I would have had enough money to turn Dewsbury Hall and upgraded him to a Szoboszlai, which would be kind of, there's some four yellows at the moment. 4 yellows. Almost be good if he just gets his yellow this week, wouldn't it? Just get it out of the way. But I would have had enough to go to Szoboszlai from Dewsbury Hall. Can't do that now. It would have to be Caicedo, and I'm a little reluctant to transfer out Caicedo, but that might be something I'll have to look at if I do want to bring in a Liverpool asset. Or if Semenyo does continue to fail, do I use Semenyo to get to a Szoboszlai? And if I can't get to Szoboszlai from Caicedo, because if he does go up in value over the next week or so, I've only got the exact money at the moment to do it. I'm down to a Gravenberch or something like that, and I'm not really sure I want to go there. I guess the other option could be slightly nervous of double defences, and at the moment I've got double Bournemouth. Losing faith with them a little bit, I have to be honest, and double Arsenal defence, and I don't like double ups in defence, and now I've got a double. Thoughts for another day. I think what I need to do is get this game work out of the way, see how it's gone. Hopefully the Arsenal defence gets back to its usual reliability, and hopefully we start to see the shoots of a revival from Bournemouth after having started so well. They have dipped. They have absolutely dipped. So, but no Europe. The fixtures are going to be coming thick and fast, and Semenyo hasn't turned into a bad player overnight. Maybe Evan Nielsen coming back now, and I would imagine Evan Nielsen should be starting now. Maybe we'll start to see see the best of Semenyo again, and indeed Senesi with that nice reliability, the odd clean sheet, but the regular DEFCON, and a bit of attacking threat there as well, I think. Overall, I think the team looks good. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game week. I think it could be one of those game weeks where a 60-pointer does not necessarily guarantee a green arrow. So I'm hoping that my own projections there show that I should be, around that sort of 66, 68 points. Great. But fingers crossed, because I always do my projections without a captain's return for the fudge factor of what will happen will bloody happen, because it always does. Something always happens. But a clean game week, some good returns. Thiago, please repay my faith. And maybe we could hit a big one. But to be honest with you, I would just like to see myself get back to that nice, steady, 68, 69, 70 points. Just chip away, chip away. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Just keep trying to stay steady on that 70, get my own averages up, because at the moment they've dipped now in this last few game weeks from I was actually starting to get towards that 66, so we're really starting to stick towards getting closer to that 70 average. It's dropped right back down to 60 again, so it's a start again. Probably the big question, I think, the biggest question? Because it really could be one. If you get it right, I think it could be a really, really good rank rise, but get it wrong, and it could be bad. Captaincy. Now, at the moment, I am wrestling between just sticking with the always Captain Haaland, Mateta, or Mbeumo. Get it right, it could be great. Get it wrong, could be disastrous. At the moment, I think I'm going to just stick on Haaland. I think Newcastle, Burn will be out. Pope with the head injury, will he have to have a mandatory missing of that game? It's a 2-week gap, so I'm not sure. I'll need to check on that. I'm not actually 100% sure. It's a tricky one. At the moment, I'm sticking on Haaland, but I would say I'm only about 50% on Haaland, and then the split of 25% between Mateta or Mbeumo, because I think Mbeumo's just looking fantastic, and I think that Everton fixture could be really good. And similarly, Mateta, it's a great fixture, and he just dropped off a little bit the last week or two, but there have been some slightly trickier fixtures. But his expected goals has been generally very, very, very good. A little bit worried about Palace getting tired, though. That's something we've spoken about a bit before. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I am going to enjoy a nice week and a half's break. I'm hoping that sunshine stays on for the next week and a half. I'm going to get out, try and work off some of this Guinness that I've built up over the last 6 to 7 months, and catch up with some friends and etc. All that lovely stuff. So listen, enjoy the international break. I hope you all are well set for this little run-in as we head towards AFCON. I think it's a really important 4 game weeks. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Let's have a chat. I'll talk to you soon. Have fun. Play your own game. Do not panic. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.